would you say makes an expansion essential? That's really what we're talking about today, the idea of essential expansion. But today we're specifically talking about a game called Whistlestop. Now, not the game itself. If you've seen my review of Whistlestop, you know I gave it favorable marks, not just for the wonderful pastel-colored markers or the awesome tile-laying-ness of it, but the fact that it was just a fun game. It's a fun train game that involves some different tweaks and things from the pick up and deliver, right? You have to build the board out instead of building tiles out. So interesting stuff. Today, though, we're looking at the Rocky Mountain expansion for Whistlestop to see if it is one of those coveted essential expansions, or if it's something that's just fun to add sometimes, or if it's one of those expansions that makes the game worse. On some occasions that happens. Let's take a look today and see what Whistlestop adds with this new Rocky Mountain expansion right now. So let's take a look at what comes with the Whistlestop Rocky Mountain expansion. First of all, I've got it stored inside the box here because it kind of just came in a little bit of a sleeve, but you get a new rule book that kind of tells you how to use this expansion. So you get the idea of what all the new tiles do, all the new upgrades do, the rules for placing it. It also gives you the setup. So if you're playing Rocky Mountain, only use this setup, don't use the other setup. But it gives you basically what everything does in a quick, concise way. So if you have any questions about how something interacts, it's all found in here. Next, you have the shining part of this expansion, which would be this middle section. Now, from here, it looks like this is just a bold line, right? It looks like just a bold line where these new Rocky Mountain looking pieces are. But no. As we hold it to the side, you can see that these two pieces, in fact, have depth. They have pieces on top here to represent the mountains. That is a cool feature to me, the fact that they added the three-dimensional aspect of it. As I mentioned before, there's a bunch of new tiles, a bunch of new upgrades. Here's kind of all the new contents, actually. 2 gold tiles, so it's places that just give you a gold as a pickup and deliver. Same thing for the whistle, you just pick them up. New special tiles, there's a black market. You can trade a stock for a gold or a gold for a stock one time. New end tiles, new common resource tiles, so those are good. New town tiles, there's a whole new set of stocks in here, 6 Rocky Top railroad chairs, and then some more ordinary train tiles. And that's all that comes in here. But it's a good bang for your buck in the sense that you get those middle tiles, which add the new rules of placement. When you have these spaces here, they get tiles laid on top of them all ready to start the game. And when you cover them, or when you uncover them, I should say, when you lay on top of these tiles, you get what's listed here, but you have to pay the cost listed down here. So to build into here, it would be 2 coal or a whistle in addition to whatever it costs you to do the action. So it's a bit of a hazard to build onto the mountains, but at least you get a benefit out of doing it. So really nicely done expansion by Bezier for Whistlestop. So that's the Rocky Mountain expansion. Now, is it essential? Well, it's not essential in the sense that if you, like Champions of Midgard, for instance. Champions of Midgard is one of those games where once you get the expansions, you never want to not play with the expansions. Scythe, Rise of Fenris, I feel like once you've played it and unlocked those modules, is one of those expansions that you never not want to play with it. The Rocky Mountain expansion, I would never not play with the tiles it adds. I would never not play with the upgrades it adds. However, the middle board, maybe sometimes you want to show a beginner, an easier player how to play and make it a little bit easier. Sometimes you want to get your score a little bit higher. Because the one thing I've noticed is this makes it a little bit harder because you're obviously having to pay some of those coveted cubes to get across the mountains instead of saving them for wonderful bonus points or stock tiles. So essential in the sense that I wouldn't play without it unless I was going to introduce it to the game, so it falls into that category. Is it fun? Is it something neat? Is it exciting? Well, it is neat in the fact that, a couple things. First of all, aesthetically, it's nice. The fact that that peak rises up off the board. I think that's a very nice touch. They didn't have to do that, but it's a very nice touch to actually have the mountains be higher than the rest of the board. It's nice that it adds an added challenge to a game that already has tons and tons and tons of variability. Now has even more variability and varied player setup and all sorts of things. Now it makes it even more variable, even harder, more tiles, more upgrades, more Whistlestop. So if you like Whistlestop, you definitely need to pick up the Rocky Mountains expansion, even if you don't play with the Rocky Mountain board in the middle. Now obviously that's going to mean you cut out some of the upgrades from it, but it is a fun game. I like what it adds. I like just the extra tiles that it adds, the special types of tiles, as well as the Rocky Mountain tiles and the way it looks. So if you liked Whistlestop, make sure to pick up Whistlestop Rocky Mountains expansion. It is a fun expansion to a game that's already a fantastic game. So I'm Brian Drake here on the latest retro with the Dice Tower. Until next time, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and such as that at the latest retro. I'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.